Welcome to the Fluffy and the CEO podcast. My name is Eric, and I'll be your moderator, host, and chief cat herder. We're excited to have you join us as we have an adult conversation. An adult conversation about life, family, work, and the human condition. I hope you're ready to have some fun. All right. Wow, guys, can you believe we're actually here?
I cannot.
Exciting!
The idea of a podcast, that kind of started as a joke, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
And kudos to you that you didn't let it die. Your spirit was pulling at you to, hey, we got to give this a shot.
We had a lot of funny family conversations, and family told us, you guys should do a podcast. You guys are hilarious, talk about a lot of commonalities that other people have. So, yeah, here we are.
Wow. So, Fluffy, I have to say that you're looking pretty fantastic today, and I really, what kind of shirt is that you're wearing?
It's a fluffy shirt.
Oh,
bunnies.
A fluffy bunny shirt. Awesome. So, Fluffy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
How much time do you have?
We have all the time in the world.
Well, I have many layers, okay? My husband first coined the affectionate nickname Fluffy because he's pretty basic. I'm extra to use today's vernacular, and it's stuck. I'm a proud Ohioan, daughter, sister, wife, mother, and friend. I believe more is more. More sprinkles, more glitter, more fluff in everything. And my husband says I don't do well with the word no. I'm passionate about animals, especially cats, education, holidays, sleeping, and sugar, fat, and salt.
Wow, that's pretty specific.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So, CEO, can you describe Fluffy for us?
Well, obviously, Fluffy's my sister. I have one sister. I love her very much. But the best thing I can describe about her is she's always been supportive of me, non-judgmental. And if you have a sibling, you know that's really the main ingredient that you're wanting. It's another human being that I have in this world that I know has my back from A to Z. And that's a huge blessing.
That's pretty special, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, CEO,
and one thing I'm curious about is she's got something written down here. It's like already an intro, so you probably should just ask her to read that.
Do you want to read that, Fluffy?
Yes, I had to encapsulate the CEO, so I didn't want to forget, because he's multidimensional too. So, first, Ryan is my only sibling, and he's the best brother in the world. He's the son of Roger and Judy, the best uncle in the world to my daughter, and a devoted husband to his wife, Katie. Just like our father, he's an entrepreneur at his core. He's passionate. He has a passionate heart for our country, our company, and our family. He has always been a fierce champion of the underdog, just like our father. And finally, he is a funny, lovable goofball, much like Michael in the series The Office.
Which I've never seen, by the way.
Hasn't seen yet.
Never seen one episode.
Wow, you're in for a treat if you ever do.
You'll be watching yourself.
Thanks for that intro. I appreciate that. You're leaving me hanging here.
You got to give him a fist bump.
Oh, sorry.
Now, see, that's going to be gold right there. Everybody's going to see me. I was hanging out there. See, that's the connection.
One thing about Fluffy, she's got a little bit of a blind spot right there.
Yeah, but not on this side. It's on that side.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, to add to it really quick and short, she's 100% right. I oversee our family's energy business. It's my passion. We have 300 outstanding employees every day who bust their tail and do the best that they can for the business and the country. I am definitely a passionate person to the point that probably to some people I'm probably over the top, but it's how I'm wired. I don't know how to be any else but that. If I'm going to do something like this podcast, Eric, me, and Wendy, we're going to do it at the highest level. So I don't ever want to do anything in life and just to do it. If I'm going to be involved with something, we're going to do it well or to the best of our ability.
So thank you for sharing a little bit about yourselves and how you came to be the CEO and Fluffy. But I kind of want to go a little bit more into your backstory. So obviously we live here in Beaver Creek, Ohio, and we're not going to give away ages, but would say we're of a certain generation.
Oh, please, we're at 55.
49.
All right, so
CEO's got a big birthday, September.
5-0, baby.
well, congratulations. So tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up when you were kids. Tell us about those early years growing up in the 70s and 80s. So what was
As
that
far
like?
as how I remember my sibling?
Yeah.
Okay, well, as far as how I remember Wendy is, and this is 100% true, my parents would confirm it, I can always remember her mind. In my mind, she has a good intellect, so she would always be reading, always was involved. And so when we were all on vacations, I'm wanting a sister to play with me, and she's on the beach reading a novel. So that's kind of my memory I always remember.
Yeah,
But
so-
there's a lot of different things too. But that's the main thing. I always remember her having a voracious appetite for reading. She would digest anything. Is that not accurate?
Oh, it's very accurate. And I'm an introvert. So,
So what about your brother? What was he like growing up?
Be careful.
energy. Constantly moving. Constantly. And he was such a good brother because other people talk about sibling rivalries and their brother or their sister has always touched their toys or bother them. Ryan never did that. He, even at a young age, he respected who I was and knew that, okay, I wasn't going to want to run around the yard with him or, match his energy. So that's what I remember. He never bothered me. Never. And I'm sure there were times where he wanted me to, run with him or, engage because he was just constantly very physical little kid. But yeah, he never bothered me.
So what are some fond memories of just kind of the culture back in the 70s and 80s? Being Gen Xers as you are, what kind of defined our
Oh, that's
our
what generation I am because I didn't know.
Well, that's a loaded question when we're living in 2023. I mean, yeah, it's. I feel like I'm in a different universe, but how I remember the 70s and 80s for myself is I had a good time. I had a good parents, a good sister, good upbringing. I have fond memories of those times. So I am a blessed person that my childhood was not a bad experience.
Oh, we had a wonderful childhood. CEO would agree. We have the best parents in the world. And what sticks out to me about that time is the TV shows. Compared to the TV shows now. They were so wholesome. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, yeah, very wholesome. Wanted for nothing. We were blessed.
So you lived in like a Hallmark movie, sounds like, growing up there as
Compared to today,
Fluffy
yes.
the CEO.
Yes.
So obviously your formative years as your childhood, and then Fluffy, you kind of went to college and then you went away for a while. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I graduated from Beaver Creek High School, and then I went to Ohio State, and I got a degree in English education. Met my future husband at Ohio State, and then spent the next 20 years out of Ohio as a Marine Corps wife.
Wow. So CEO, your sister was there, and all of a sudden she's gone. How did that impact you?
Yeah, that was, our age, we're 5 years apart. So really, as far as speaking about the youth, when I was 10, she was 15. When I was 15, she was 20. So those years, as soon as I was kind of basically hitting puberty and hitting the first teenage years, she was out of the house. So I look back, really, I feel we've gotten closer as we've gotten older, and our relationship now is continuing to get closer,
Yes.
and that's how it should be. Just because in those awkward years, you're learning and growing and all those things.
In different states.
Correct, 100%.
All right. So Fluffy, were there any life experiences between you're becoming a Marine Corps wife and where you're at now that kind of shaped and molded and maybe changed your perception on things?
Yes. Overall, my whole life, I've been very, very blessed. One thing that has shaped me, when my husband retired, and we moved back to Ohio. That was a very busy time where a lot of things changed. And it was tough. I mean, transitioning from the Marine Corps to regular life again was tough on both my husband and I. But like, a lot of vets, my husband went through a depression, and trying to transition from the Marine Corps to civilian life was difficult. So that difficulty translated into our marriage. So I'd say about a decade. It was tough. I don't think he knew it at the time, like most vets, but he had some severe depression. For a decade. I mean, I married a prince, and he turned into a frog for a while. But we clawed our way back, and I have my prince back now, and life is good. But that whole experience, did change me.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So we want to be upfront and honest. So, I'm happen to be that vet that is married to Fluffy, and ended up not being the prince for a period in our marriage. So again, I'm happy to be part of this process here, and again, really excited to see where this goes. So thank you for that, Fluffy. So
Also, should always be said, we also appreciate your service to the country.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. Well, so CEO,
Yeah.
you've had quite an interesting life as well. So do you want to share?
I can share some, but as we do more, the viewers will get more, because my life is definitely multi-chapter, multifaceted, and pretty unique. So long story short, most people could probably draw this. The people that know me know my backstory. I went to Beaver Creek High School, went to Cleveland State. In my 20s, a little bit wild, go left, right, paid a little bit of a price. It got me off course, got back on course, and then my father and I went out, and he was getting tired. The company was going through some things. We can speak on that more in future podcasts, but the bottom line is he wanted to do something different, and I got an opportunity, and we've not looked back since.
All right, so thank you for sharing that. I mean, we want to know who you are, because
Sure.
we hope we can connect with a certain audience and a certain generation. So, Fluffy, I think you're kind of the new modern Gen X voice of the woman, and CEO. You definitely have a certain perspective and voice of the entrepreneur. So here we are on a podcast. So why are people going to want to listen to us talk about things? What are some of your points of view? What do you think? What do you hope to get across through this?
Well, from my perspective, what we hope to get across is being authentic. I feel now we're living in an era where there's nobody's authentic. Everyone's worried about the pressure of the society, or they're worried about their boss seeing something. So people aren't being who they are from their spirit. Everyone is, in my humble opinion, a lot of people are playing roles throughout the day. And hopefully, if we can illuminate, or at least allow people by watching us to say, hey, these two human beings will call a spade a spade. If that allows that person to do that, I can't speak for her, but I think my sister and I would say we would be proud of that. That's a success right there. Because if you're not who you are, you won't be genuine.
As soon as he said that, I was going to say the exact same thing, authenticity. I think both Ryan and I have never pretended to be someone else. And we were lucky to have parents who never shaped us into something that we were not. They embraced who we were. So I think that directly comes from our parents, because both of us, are authentic, and we value authenticity. I think that's just the most attractive character trait in a person, to be authentic.
Yeah, and another thing for me is I don't get embarrassed. I'm just lucky with that trait. So, like the first time I was here, I was telling Chris, at work, I'll grab the phone, and the employees I know, they're ducking under the tables, because I have no hesitation being in front of the camera, because I want to promote what we do. I'm proud of what we do. But that's one thing you'll find is the moderator, Eric, if he asks me a question, I don't get embarrassed. I'll answer anything straight up.
So I think that's one thing that we love about the both of you is that you are authentic and you're always up to a good, lively debate. So also the concept that we really wanted to come out with is the conversations that we have around our kitchen table when we're together over a holiday meal or something like that are some of the most memorable conversations that I've ever been a part of. And we hope that we can bring this to a wider audience.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'm going to kind of throw you out a concept, an idea, and I'm going to let you guys riff on it, all right? So are you guys ready to rumble?
We're ready to
We're
rumble.
ready to rumble.
All right. So today's topic, why are men so stupid?
Okay. Now, for the world to hear this, as a moderator, you'll let the world know we are unaware. When we sit at this table, you're hitting us with a subject brand new, correct?
You got it.
But we've discussed this topic at home several times.
Yes, it's quite a widely discussed topic in our house because I happen to be a man and I happen to be stupid a lot of the times.
Okay.
So I thought it would be interesting to kind of get your point of view as well as your sister's in terms of why are men so stupid? And I'll put it in the context of this. Your wife says, I don't want anything for my birthday.
Or Valentine's Day.
Or Valentine's Day. Or any special event or holiday. What do?
This is a question for me or for her
Yes.
to start? Well, we have to do something because, again, I would say when the female says they don't want anything, that's a loaded question. That's a trap that we fall into, and then we're held responsible for another year on why we didn't get them anything. So she could speak to that if I'm being accurate or if I'm inaccurate.
But see, I would say, why does CEO think that's a trap? Okay, let's take Valentine's Day. We just had Valentine's Day. Did you get Katie, your wife, a Valentine's Day present?
Nope, I gave her an awesome post on Facebook for the world to see.
Okay, so again, even if your wife says, probably Katie, CEO's wife, said, you don't have to give me anything for Valentine's Day. You hear that all the time. My wife said, don't give me anything for Valentine's Day. She's just said it was a made-up holiday. You're an intelligent man, right? With a brain.
I believe
you
so.
know that Valentine's Day is a holiday of romance and love. So why wouldn't you get your wife flowers, chocolate, a teddy bear for Valentine's Day? I'm sure when you were courting Katie, you would have done that. See, when men they bring it on real strong, when they're courting their girlfriend, and then the girlfriend becomes a wife, and then they're married a couple of years. I would say, in my experience, the 20-year mark seems to be when they just stop doing those romantic things.
Yeah, if you're leaving out one thing during the courting process, the woman's not complaining, the woman's not nagging, you don't have kids involved, so therefore everyone's having a good time. So naturally the husband or the male, who's not a husband at that time during the courting process, it's natural to do all those gifts and things because she's having a fun time, he's having a fun time. Once the marriage kicks in and humans live with each other because it's normal, well, things happen. So sometimes that guy might not be as excited about Valentine's Day because for the last 4 weeks he heard he didn't take out the trash.
And
he ain't going to hear that during the courting process.
Well, what we hear then is we're not a priority. The trash is priority.
Yeah, but see, that's where the females have to explain to us because remember, men are simple. We're hunters. We kill the animal, eat the animal. We're not thinking about what the animal was, where was it roaming. We're hungry, eat it. So my question to you is, how are we supposed to read into that? How do we know that? If the English language for the human is English and the woman says, I'm okay, honey, for Valentine's Day, I don't need anything. Why do we have to do this trickery or this assumption that even though she said that, I'm supposed to get something?
Well, I hear that, but I would say to you, just because you're simple doesn't mean you should be stupid, okay? It's a national holiday when you go in the grocery store or a convenience store in February, what are you going to see? Okay, it's right in front of your face. Do you really need us to say, yes, please give me flowers or chocolate. So are you stupid or are you simple?
Well, I'm simple, but the question that we could also ask, I'd be curious on you, is where's our holiday? Where's the man's holiday for working 60 hours? Where's the man's holiday for handling the financial pressure? Where's the man's holiday because the wife wants him to take him dancing or take her to a restaurant? Where's the guy get acknowledged for juggling all the balls that he does, being strong, not complaining, and still supposed to walk in the house with a smile and dance a tune?
Well, Valentine's Day is just not a female holiday.
I don't know any men that are excited about Valentine's Day.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of women who give their boyfriends, husbands, Valentine's Day gifts.
Tell me a guy you've ever met on your 55 years on this earth that said, I can't wait for Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Well, you're right about that. I hear that, okay? Because the pressure, right? You feel the pressure.
Yeah. And what do? I hate to break it to you. It's last minute. Run in Kroger's, grab the rose. Grab the Esther Price candy on the way home.
Okay, so why aren't you excited about Valentine's Day?
Well, for the reasons I laid out, that to get excited about that holiday, usually the mind has to be in a great spot. So it depends on each individual. For me, I feel I have a marriage, and I'm fortunate, thank you, baby, that my wife does not need that. She's good enough with me just saying, Happy Valentine's Day, I love you, thank you for what you do.
Okay.
But getting the gifts and stuff, the reality is, don't you think that's just checking the box? That's just being conditioned on what the media, or like Eric said, Hallmark wants us to do. So since we are simple, we walk with a mile line, all 100 of us, chocolate, Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, I would. Okay, if we are saying that the man is simple, then I would look at that as, that's a day on the calendar that I can maybe not associate with Valentine's Day, but a day of love and appreciation. If I haven't shown my wife that in a while, I can show her how much I appreciate her, how much I love her.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Good.
Excellent. So we agree on something.
So you as a
I'm not
you as a
what we
moderator,
agreed upon.
Correct. You have to decide when you want to end the subject, because her and I will just kind of keep going and going
yes.
and going.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yes.
it's very interesting. I love both your points of view. Of course, Fluffy, I like yours much better. But, Ryan, you're doing an excellent job with supporting your point of view.
Trying to
as
hold
well.
us down.
All right. So I think we covered a lot of ground today. How do you both feel right now? How do you feel?
Oh, I'm ready to keep it going.
You ready to keep it going?
Yeah.
Totally energized.
Totally
I had
energized?
coffee and Coke this morning.
Coffee and Coke.
Is the gallery enjoying this? Is Chris and Roger and Judy?
Yeah,
okay?
so we do have a in-studio audience today, and I've heard a few chuckles in the background, so I'm glad that they can be with us today. So both of you complete the sentence I'm about to say with one word. So, CEO, this is for you. Fluffy is... Complete that sentence.
First thing that came to my mind, literally, is awesome.
Fluffy is awesome. All right. I think we can all agree with that. So, same thing for you, Fluffy. CEO is...
Authentic.
Authentic. All right. So, kind of our next topic is to determine, both of you are great brothers and sisters. You have a great mom and dad. So, which one of you is the favorite child?
Well, she always says it's me, and I don't know how she's arrived at that. Because I don't ever remember my parents saying, "Oh, we like you better."
He is, and they never did. Let's make that clear. Mom and Dad never showed out and out favoritism, okay? But I think if you ask any parent that has more than one child, there's unconsciously always going to be a favorite, okay? So, for example, I could bring Mom and Dad McDonald's cheeseburgers for dinner, okay? And then Ryan could bring, next week, McDonald's cheeseburgers for dinner for Mom and Dad. And the reaction when I would bring them cheeseburgers would be, "Oh, thank you, honey. That was very sweet of you. Appreciate that." The reaction to Ryan would be, "Oh my gosh. Oh, this cheeseburger is fantastic. Oh my God, this is wonderful." So that's why he's the golden boy.
Now, I'll tell you why she has that opinion, whether it's valid or invalid. The reason why that is, and where she has to look inside herself, is if you're a natural introvert, well, you're kind of wired to kind of live inwardly. I'm pretty much out there, so I have no doubt that my parents love my sister equally. It's just
Yes.
with me, I've just always brought a lot more color to the room. Simple as that.
And, that's very true. I would have to agree with that, because, an introvert, I keep all of my emotions and everything usually, inside. And Ryan is a lot more, extroverted. So I would agree with that.
And I get that. Definitely when you manage people, you will never be an effective leader if you're not 100% transparent, and you have to be able to crack your heart open, and people have to see that.
Excellent. All right, so we've learned that Fluffy is awesome, CEO is authentic, and happens to be the favorite child. Although your mom and dad love you both very much.
Definitely.
And equally so. So I just kind of want to wrap this up here, this first episode.
40 minutes went by that quick?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Well, it's actually not quite that long, but we're going to wrap it up anyway. So I want to thank you both for being yourselves, for being so authentic. Special thank you to Mom and Dad, also known as Grams and Gramps, for making possible a world that we could enjoy, both Fluffy and the CEO. Without them, that would not have been possible. I want to thank the Beaver Creek Chamber of Commerce for creating this wonderful podcasting studio that we're here at. And really, this show is made possible by the support of Duncan Oil Company, changing the way you view energy companies. Also, I'd like to thank our VP of Merchandise, also Wifey, and AKA wife of the CEO. And
Thank you, baby.
Catherine. So check out our merch, which will be available on fluffyandtheceo.com. And make sure you check that out and pick it up. And I'd also like a special thanks to our production consultant, our daughter Bunny Rabbit, who's encouraged us to move forward and do this as well. So, congratulations, guys. On behalf of Fluffy and the CEO, I want to thank you for sharing an adult conversation. And until the next time, may your days be filled with family, love, and laughter.